Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of Citizens Fiber.
Welcome to Westmoreland Community Connections, a look at issues and happenings on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. Here now is your host, Jennifer Miele, Chief Communications Officer and Managing Director of Evangelization of the Diocese of Greensburg.
Welcome to Westmoreland Community Connections on WHJB. I'm your host, Jennifer Miele. Very happy to be here today with two dear friends who are planning a wonderful event to support the Animal Friends of Westmoreland. Kelli Brisbane, she's the Executive Director of Animal Friends of Westmoreland, and a huge supporter of the organization is Trooper Stephen Lamani. He, of course, is with the Pennsylvania State Police at the Greensburg Barracks, very well known in the media and the community. And I am very excited to talk to you two today because we are talking about an upcoming charity event called Dancing with the Celebrities. So Kelli, why don't you kick us off and tell us what is Dancing with the Celebrities?
Okay, sounds good. So Dancing with the Celebrities is a really fun event that is based on the Dancing with the Stars TV show, if you're familiar with that. And it was a way for us to bring in local celebrities, local people that are interested in our mission to raise funds in a fun way. So it's a very fun and friendly dance competition. Although, Steve, you'll be able to attest to this, people do get pretty competitive.
Competitive isn't the word for when I got to compete in it. I can tell you that.
So what number did you do?
Okay, so that's a great question. So I'm going to say it was about 8 years ago. Maybe I'm not. I can't even remember how long ago it was. Right, that's how old I am. But I got in, and I got roped into it. Right, I had somebody that did a favor for me, and they said, "You're going to repay this favor," and I said, "Of course I will." They're like, "But I said, what can I do?" She's like, "Well, you can drink alcohol, right? And it's not illegal, right? Those were the two things. I'm like, okay, wait, I can drink alcohol and it's not illegal. I'm like, okay, I'll pay back the favor. Well, then fast forward like 2 months later, I got this email list, and I'm sure it's something similar to the one that you sent out that said, congratulations to all of our dancers. We really look forward to you being a part of this event. And I'm reading through this. I'm like, how did I get this email? Like, it must have been like spam or a mistake. And I saw my name was on there. And I'm like, what? Is this like, why is my name on this list? So I also saw the name of the person I owed the favor to, though. They called them, hey, wait a second, I think you got the wrong guy. I can get you somebody, though, to fill this spot. Ultimately, I participated in the event. I am not going to lie to you. It was some of the most challenging things I've ever done when it comes to dancing in a professional like atmosphere like that, which I know it's not professional, but like for me, I was trying to be like a professional, which I didn't realize how bad I was at dancing. But it was like 3 months later. I don't know how many hours of practice I put in, and we ended up winning. So,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we danced to the Hill Street Blues song, obviously, right? State
obviously.
And we did an international rumba. So, but it was great. My partner's name was Deb Altoff. She was awesome to work with. And I said that I will never do that again. No, it was a ton of fun. It was just amazing the time. And I'm going to tell you, I go on TV and I talk in front of like 1 million people on the news. I was never more stressed out in my life than when there was like maybe 100 and some 200 people standing around watching me dance. I'm like, all I'm going to do is just trip this poor young lady that's dancing with me and maybe possibly injure her. And that's what I was afraid of.
Well,
what were the practices like leading up to that?
Yeah. So I would be the instructor and I'd be like learning the footwork. And about maybe 3 weeks into this thing, I had the footwork down, and she's like, "You finally got it." I was like, it was literally like I was the kid in the chorus that hit like every note in the tune.
Nice.
And like I was glowing, and she's like, "Okay, now we got to fix the rest of this." I'm like, "Fix the rest of what?" She's like, "Your arms are bad, your posture stinks." She's like, "Everything else is horrible." She's like, "You finally got the footwork." She's like, "We have a long way to go." I'm like, "We have got to be kidding me." Here I was, I thought I was perfect, and all of a sudden I had to start all over fixing it.
Well, I have actually, Jennifer, I was a dancer once as well in one of the years. And I had a very different experience because I only had 3 rehearsals. So I got pulled in very late in the game. I had three total rehearsals. I was doing a swing dance number. I've always had an interest in learning that. And we got out on the dance floor and my partner froze. He had stage fright and I couldn't swing myself.
So what happened?
So I did a lot of this.
Wave your finger around.
Oh, you're kidding. Now,
Yeah.
see, here's the difference between the two of you, though. So, Trooper Steve is a trained athlete because he, is a trooper. He's very active. He's a runner. So I'm sure that it was a little easier than he explains. But you lived in New York City, and I believe were a professional actress for a long time. So
not dancer.
I understand, but I'm just saying, as athletic as Steve is, you probably had the stage presence, and I'm sure your partner appreciated that afterward. Did he ever loosen up throughout the event?
No, it was pretty challenging. It was still fun, but it was also, as Steve mentioned, it's also very stressful being the celebrity. You kind of feel like I have to represent, like I have to do a good job for the company that I'm representing. And so it did put like a lot of that type of pressure on you. And it wasn't till like going through the process, which I think it was important for me to do now that I'm in this position, to really understand the nuts and bolts and how it works, to realize that some people do have, more rehearsal time, and some people that, like you said, I did have acting experience. So maybe it was a little bit easier for me to pick up. So 3 rehearsals for me might have been like a month of rehearsals, 2 months of rehearsals for somebody else. But it also was really cool to see how this fundraiser actually raises the money for the animals, because it really does. And it's very disappointing that we can't be in person this year, because the Palace Theater gets packed and it's a super duper fun, high energy event in person. But we're going to really do our best to try to keep that same momentum moving. And then we're still doing trying to get, we had to kind of change things up in terms of the partnering structure as well, because at the time we didn't know if we would be able to have an in-person event. So even just picking the celebrities and giving them the option of, do you have a partner that you're around that you don't, you feel safe and comfortable with, that you're going to feel healthy? So we also had to, change and think about those types of things that we never had to do before. Whereas we could have a celebrity, pair them up with celebrity, a dance team that instructed them. Whereas this time we're actually pairing celebrities together that they know that they're safe and they can be healthy and have a good time together. So it's actually, instead of having a pro dancing with you, it's 2 celebrities. So it should be interesting.
So this event is scheduled for Wednesday, July 28th at 6 p.m. As you said, it will be a virtual event. How can people participate or log on, or how could they watch something like this?
So if you go to the Animal Friends of Westmoreland website, there is a link that you can purchase tickets. It's very similar. I did reach out to Westmoreland Ballet Company. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how they structured the Nutcracker in December, but it was super neat. They use this cool platform called Show Tix for You. So we contacted them and they were really awesome in, just giving us the information. So we built this on-demand platform where you can go in and purchase a ticket. It's per streaming device. And, whereas at the Palace Theater, our tickets were $75, which helped us raise a decent amount of money. The tickets for your at-home streaming device are only $20. So, we really have to push sponsorships a little bit more and, hopeful during the event. We're going to do like a pay per vote so people can pay this time to vote, and hopefully we'll raise the additional funds that way. But yeah, if you check out our website, you can click on a link there. You'll see the dancers' names and get some more information about purchasing that ticket.
Now, normally this would be held at the Palace Theater, and normally Trooper Lamani would be your MC. So he went from dancer to MC. So he's couldn't have been that traumatic, Steve. You're still showing up for the event.
They got the proverbial cane and gave me the hook to get me off stage and slid me over in front of a microphone, where I do a little bit than I do trying to show off my lack of dance skills is a better way to put it.
Yeah, but I'm sure you enjoy seeing the progress that these people have made.
No, they are absolutely incredible. They've gotten better and better and better. I won in like the very first year they were doing this, and there's no way I could have competed against some of the acts I've had to see in the past. I mean, there's been some people that really just blew the doors off the competition. It was absolutely impressive. Glad that I'm not competing against them, and glad I get to just stand on the side and critique it. Right.
I always think that that's probably how American Idol feels, right? I think like Kelly Clarkson or, one of the other winners probably watches it now and says, boy, I'm glad I'm not up against those people. So here you are, and at least you have your title. And so you'll be emceeing this event virtually. And again, that's Wednesday, July 28th at 6:00. It's Dancing with the Celebrities. And Kelli is telling us about how you can go on and buy tickets online for $20 per streaming device. But what about sponsorships? Because this is really what we need to get at in terms of raising funds to care for the animals. So
it really is.
Levels. Can you talk us through all that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we currently have 3 sponsorship levels. We have I'm going to pull it up here while I talk. We have a $2,500 VIP lead sponsor. And there's actually 2 of those positions. One is currently filled, so that's super exciting. We have $1,000 lead sponsors, and we'll take as many as we can get. And then we have a $500 event friend. And then there's various perks and different advertising opportunities associated with each of those. So what I would recommend, if your business is interested, is to reach out to me via email, and I can give you more information. That email is Kelli with an I at animalfriendswestmoreland.org.
Well, you have that really down pat with those sponsorships. So some of the sponsorships are coming in. You still have a ways to go to raise those funds. But if someone is interested, they should pick up the phone or shoot you an email, as you just said, to learn a little bit more about what all of these sponsorships include. So I assume that you had to be pretty creative on the sponsorship since it's a virtual event. So how do how do you manage that, and what kind of innovations have you made?
Yeah, we definitely had to tweak the current or the previous versions. We give them on-demand tickets. So instead of, having your seat at the Palace, which is super fun, you still get to tune in, and you'll have that on-demand ticket. We put the business name on all of the marketing materials. The logo will be prominently displayed on the digital program. We will announce, of course, Steve will announce them during his welcome speech and make sure that they feel appreciated, because honestly, without them, we really wouldn't be raising too much for our animals. This event is, I would say, our second top event for Animal Friends of Westmoreland. We did not have it last year. We didn't have, I think we had one event last year, and it was the Cash Bash. So, we really do need to push these sponsorships and try to at least, get to a certain dollar amount. We are going to be nowhere near what we typically raise for this event, but we still feel like having this event and having the opportunity to start getting back to some sense of normalcy is really important for us and also our community, because the community loves this event. And then the sponsors that typically have been involved in the past are also really loyal and committed to our mission. So that's really what we hope, is to establish those relationships and continue to grow with them. We recognize that it's been a really challenging year for a lot of organizations, not just nonprofits. So, we are definitely not pushing it too hard. We definitely want to see who we can approach and try to get those sponsor dollars, but we're also very respectful in the fact that we understand that it's a challenging time for a lot of people.
Well, but ultimately the funds that are raised are going directly to support the shelter and the animals who are in need. And I'm assuming that if you have less money in your operating budget, you have less ability to care for animals who might need it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We actually, I don't know if you saw our recent story on Facebook, we just got an animal, Betty White, because she's as old as Betty White, our golden girl. And she had been tied to a tree and just left somewhere. So animal control had brought her in, and Bethany, our animal care manager, was picking up another dog that we had gotten a call about and saw her. And she was just like, I couldn't leave her there. And so she went back the next day and we got Betty White. And this is something that we do regularly. We definitely embrace those senior dogs, those dogs that have special needs, the harder to place animals. We are a no-kill shelter. So when we take that commitment on, we are signing on to those larger bill veterinarian care bills, and really recognizing the fact that it's going to take some time for that animal to get healthy again and get well, to get to the point where we can actually move them into the kennel where they could be adopted.
You're listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on WHJB. I'm your host, Jennifer Miele. Happy to be talking today with some folks who are organizing a Dancing with the Celebrities charity event to support animal friends of Westmoreland. Coming up next, you're going to hear a little bit about who the celebrities are and what kind of dances they'll be doing. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Westmoreland Community Connections on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB. If you have a suggestion for a topic, or if your nonprofit organization would like to be featured on this program, call us during regular business hours at 724-216-1200.
Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of Citizens Fiber.
Welcome back to Westmoreland Community Connections on WHJB. I'm your host, Jennifer Miele. Happy to be here today with Kelli Brisbane. She's the Executive Director of Animal Friends of Westmoreland, and she is in the planning stages right now of Dancing with the Celebrities. This is a charity event that's held every year to support Animal Friends of Westmoreland. It's scheduled for Wednesday, July 28th at 6 p.m. This year, it's going to be virtual, but you can buy your tickets at the Animal Friends website. You can also support the organization with sponsorships, and you'll get to see the lovely and talented MC, Trooper Stephen Lamani, who was a contestant years ago in the contest and is now serving to help organize the event. So, Steve, can you tell us a little bit about the dance that you did and the training that went into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did an international rumba to the Hill Street Blues song, being a police officer. That sort of kind of fit the MO of what my Deb Altoff, who was like our professional dancer. And she had taken one of my old uniforms and turned it into like a glitter explosion. And that was what I was wearing when I was dancing. So it was, I guess what the children are called would be dazzled. I looked like what's that store Buckle? I looked like a Buckle jean gone bad with my with all the stuff that was on my shirt. We definitely
Sorry, Steve. I think we need a picture to use for the promotion material.
Look for one.
Scary. So there's there were some lips, some dips, and some other things I did, and at no point in time did I trip her, which I had tripped her a couple of times during our practice session. So I was lucky. I had chugged like 4 or 5 glasses of champagne because that's all they had back there for us. I was bloated beyond belief. The bubbles in that champagne really make it difficult. So, but I was trying to do something to take the edge off. But it all worked out. We ended up finishing first. I was super excited because anybody that knows me, like I'm so competitive, I can't help it. And it was about 3 or 4 months of practice for us to get there. We went to her church to practice. We would practice on randoms like Sunday evening or like a Saturday morning. We would get up and go practice, and we had to find places that had space because we moved around the dance floor quite a bit during our dance. But it was awesome. And when it was all said and done, the fact that we were doing it and helping animals, like that's really what it was all about. When I got to see, and then that's probably one of the best things about, or at least one of my favorite parts about emceeing the event, being at the event all these years, is when they bring the animals out, right? Like it's so cool. They bring the animals out, and you see how much the people like appreciate them, and you see like a lot of times I'll show pictures of where the animals were when they took them, and where they are now, and now that their capability of being adopted and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a heart wrencher. So they're able to get you like that. So, but it's great. And I'm happy that I was thought about, being brought back again this year.
So Kelli, who are we going to see on the list this year, and what kind of dances will they be doing?
We have a really great lineup. It's definitely going to be a tough competition. Aubrey Burchell, she was one of the contestants for American Idol. She and Noah Myers, they sing a lot together. They do a lot of local gigs. So they're paired up, and they're one of our celebrity teams. We've got Adam DeFlorio and Jessica Hickey. Jessica, she does the Downtown Greensburg Project. And Adam DeFlorio is the Moxie event guy. So I think, they're going to be pretty competitive as well. And they've got a really great base and following. We have Danny Ebeling and Barbara Rolla. One of the things that I did try to do was incorporate some people that maybe had or suffered some challenges from the past year. Barbara was a community theater performer, and that was totally wiped out, of course. So she was super excited to be a part of this and, brush off those dancing shoes. We've got Jim Bosco, the owner of Major Stokes, and Heather Cordial, who's a rock star. We've got Laura Kay, which you are very familiar with, and her partner, Kevin Zilli. Alyssa Bruno Walls and Jesse Walls, husband and wife partner duo. Jordan and Jesse Hauser. We've got another, Jordan's very involved in doing like podcasts and different things like that. It's called The Local. So he'll have a really decent base as well. Ashley Lee and Evan Ronake, and I apologize if I'm butchering your name, Evan. We'll figure that out before we get to the event. And then Jackie Sobel from Sobel's Brewery and Aubrey Warwick DeStefan. They're actually going to be choreographing their own number. If you're familiar with them, they're very involved. Aubrey's the owner of Fitness Envy, and they do all the pole dancing stuff. So that one's going to be pretty wide, I'm sure, as well. So it's really exciting. We have, like I said, they're doing their own choreography. Laura Warzel is doing the choreography for Alyssa and Jesse. And then Stage Right will be doing the choreography for a lot of the other numbers. Let me make sure I didn't forget anybody here. Oh, Barbara Rolla and Danny are also doing their own. So they had that option as well, just to, again, have those social distancing measures in place. If they felt more comfortable and they wanted to have that instructor, they could, or if they knew someone or wanted to do it themselves, they could do that as well.
So how will the event be structured? I assume a link will go live around 6:00 on July 28th and
That's right.
all the dances.
That's right. Yes. So it'll, like you said, we're going to have to pre-record. So we have really awesome judges too. I'll give them a quick shout out. Amy Jo Slater, she is originally from this area. She and I used to perform together at Idlewild Park. She does a lot of cruise ships, and she did the Adele show on for the music fest that I planned at the Palace. So she's going to be one of our celebrity judges. Ryan Stana, who is also from here originally, he's a huge Broadway producer now. He's going to be one of our judges. He also, gave a contribution to sponsor the event. And then Amy Cannon, she'll be our other celebrity judge, who is one of Ryan's assistants in New York City. So the judges are top notch, and they are our local celebrities because they are actually out in the world doing this stuff professionally, which is pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like pressure. That sounds like pressure.
No joke. Thank God I'm not part of those people.
Yeah.
We'll be on Zoom. We'll be on Zoom. Those are some of the things that we're going to incorporate, like having maybe the judges on the Zoom together, and then they'll be watching the performances, and then they can comment together on Zoom, and then we'll record those sessions and then piece them together. And then same with Steve. Steve and I will probably do a Zoom together and potentially, loop in some of the performers as well, the dancers, so that we can have that content. And then, of course, the major stars are the animals. So we'll be featuring some of the animals, like Steve mentioned, that we have currently in our care, and in hopes to not only raise funds, but also to find some new family members their forever homes.
That sounds great. Just give the folks at home who are listening just a brief overview of what you do and what kind of impact it has on the community.
So we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. From what I remember, and you guys can chime in, I think we were one of the, main people that started within Westmoreland County creating an animal shelter, or at least one of the top, 3 contenders, I would say. We were founded in 2006, and we received our status, 501c3 status, in 2008. And then we opened our doors to the public in 2009. We are a companion-based adoption center. So we have dogs, cats, and rabbits for adoption. We are a no-kill animal shelter. So any animal that comes to our facility, we do work to find a forever home for them. We do not kill to make room for new animals. So that is something that it's very important for the public to understand. If we get a call and we're not able to take your animal at that immediate time, to understand that we are no kill, and that for that reason we do have a capacity. But that we do have lists, and we do try to stay in touch with those people so that we can move them in once an animal is adopted. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you do so much work. Go ahead. No, continue. I want to hear more.
We also then, we kicked it up a notch and purchased a 62-acre farm sanctuary. So in 2017, we opened the doors to our Animal Friends Farm Sanctuary, where we have large barnyard animals. We have pigs, cows, goats, chickens, you name it. And at this point in time, due to COVID, we really are just caring for the animals. But the hope is, since things are starting to open up again, to eventually create some programming and have some really cool events out there as well.
That's a huge undertaking. And how about a shout out to your staff?
Oh my goodness, you guys. So every nonprofit works their tail off. But I have to say, our staff goes above and beyond every single day. The animals are in our care 365 days a year. It doesn't matter if it's a weekend. It doesn't matter if it's 1 a.m. If something happens to the animals, our staff is always there and willing to jump in and do what it takes. If a cow gets loose, we have to go and get that cow. There are some really bizarre situations, but the staff truly has a heart for our mission. Most people that work in this field do it because they have a heart for the animals, of course. We're not doing this to be rich, although it would be lovely. We're doing this to really find the best care possible for the animals, and our staff is definitely incredible at doing that.
How long has Animal Friends of Westmoreland been around now?
We were founded in 2006, and then we opened the doors to the public in 2009.
So it's been many years and many successful stories, I'm sure.
A lot of animals.
Yeah, and I'm sure if people visited your website, they could see all of the animals who are up for adoption now, right?
They sure can, yes.
Well, one of the things I'll like to say is that they've been partnered with law enforcement since I've been involved in public relations. If we got in a jam where we had ran into an animal that was in distress or was being neglected and we were going to make an arrest, calling Animal Friends was always one of the people we knew we can call when it came to trying to help us to get the animal to some place where it start to get rehabilitated and try and get well again. So that's one of the reasons why I was extremely excited to have the ability to be selected by Animal Friends to just participate a little bit. If I could be any small cog in helping them in any way, shape, or form, as a law officer, we do it in a heartbeat.
That's fantastic. So Kelli, one more time, give us the rundown on the date, the time, how to buy tickets, and sponsorships.
Okay, so Dancing with the Celebrities will be a virtual on-demand event this year. You can purchase tickets on our website, the Animal Friends of Westmoreland's website. And those tickets are an on-demand purchase, so you'll be able to rent the streaming video for 48 hours. It's $20 per streaming device, and that event will stream on Wednesday, July 28th at 6 p.m. And you'll be able to view it through Thursday, July 29th at 12 a.m. You will also get encouraged links to pay per vote during the evening, maybe get some raffle or 50-50 tickets along the way. We will do our best to make it a very interactive experience for everybody.
That sounds wonderful. Kelli Brisbane is the executive director of Animal Friends of Westmoreland. She is planning Dancing with the Celebrities to support Animal Friends, so please go ahead and check that out. I want to thank you very much, and Trooper Lamani, who has served as not only a contestant, but an MC for many, many years. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
Try and get a commitment right now from Jen to say she's in next year.
Yes, Jen. Have you ever danced?
I was a cheerleader. Yeah. I was a cheerleader. So
all right, next year you're on the docket.
Well, I'm gonna have to start stretching now. Thank you both. You're so much fun.
Thank you, guys.
You're listening to Westmoreland Community Connections on WHJB.
This has been Westmoreland Community Connections, a look at issues and happenings in and around Westmoreland County. Join us again next week on Classic Hits 107.1 WHJB.
Westmoreland Community Connections is a presentation of Citizens Fiber.